I'm Mihika Rajesh.
And I'm Mamta Rajesh.
And I'm a psychotherapist.
I'm a psychotherapist and a breathwork therapist. And we are the founders of Utsmaya.
Okay, so this is a very relevant question for a lot of us, right? Boundaries. How do you set boundaries to the right degree wherein you're not losing the essence of the relationship, but you're also not compromising on what's, violating or hurting you? So what's your take on that?
First of all, I think boundaries are very important. It's for my safety and for the other person's safety. So boundaries are for safety, it's important. Issues with boundaries typically happen because half the time, if I have poor boundaries, I don't know how to let the other person know that this is the line, do not cross. I don't know how to respect their line also because I don't know how to respect boundaries myself. So that becomes a very common problem. And then boundaries also change along with time, context, relationship, situation, etc. And so if we haven't learned the nuances of boundary, we'll typically falter. And when there's a boundary violation, obviously there's a rupture of trust, communication breakdown, etc. I think to explain this, I will give an example of, say, a pony. Now imagine you get yourself a pony, and it's a pony, right? It's a baby, so it needs to be with the mummy horse for a while. So you're going to put the pony in the mother's enclosure in very close quarter with the mother. And say the pony is a month, 2 months. You're going to move the pony to a slightly bigger enclosure, but it will still be small because the pony needs to be protected all the time, can't be let out. And when that pony is, say, maybe 6-8 months, you will have an even bigger enclosure, plus the pony will go out of the enclosure into the free open space, run around, whatever, and come back into the safety. And when it's a full grown horse, the horse will only be in the stable probably when it's resting or at night, but the rest of the time it has full space to move around. And it's necessary. And yet, if that same adult horse falls sick, needs to be treated medically or has a surgery, it will come back into a small restricted confined area so that no other horse will come near it and it can recoup and rest and all of that. So exactly like that, we need to know and understand what is my need, be aware of my need, and know how to communicate it to the relevant person. Now, depending on who that person is, my language will change. And once I'm able to understand and give and take and ask what I want and let the person know, hey, this is the line I don't want you to cross. We hesitate to do that because we'll be rude. So I think if we can just, it's again being aware, having the vocabulary and learning how to communicate and say, hey, I've noticed you did this. Maybe you didn't mean it wrong, but I felt uncomfortable. Do you think in future you can avoid doing it this way? Just to say that, I think makes life a lot easier for all of us.
It's just that example of the horse or the pony being in its place. To me, what stood out was knowing, how, relationally, situationally, how much space do I want, how rigid are my boundaries, and I never thought of it that way.
True.
Boundaries seem one and rigid, right?
Yeah. I think relationally is the key word there, because in the same relationship at different points of time, you might need to expand and give space, and at other times you might need to come close and really hold the back of that person and stick by them and say, hey, I'm with you. So at that time, boundaries can blur a lot. And then as the situation normalizes, things settle, you go back. So it has to be fluid.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key.
Yeah. And that's a space I think many people struggle to know it, because boundaries seem very one and rigid alone. There's no understanding that it can move and it can open and close. So that's a very good insight.
And a lot of people have it either all open
Or all closed.
or all closed.
Yeah.
So again, that's a very black or white thing. You're so right about that.
Well, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.